Hi, I'm Phyllis, southernfrugal.com. Tonight we're going to make a strawberry pound cake. Now this is my own recipe, and I come up with the strawberry flavor maybe in a different way. But anyway, I'll show you what I did. I've already done it now, but I put 1 1/4 cups of strawberries in my Vitamix. Now this will work in a blender too. You don't have to have a Vitamix. But and you could use fresh strawberries if you wanted to, but what you want to do is put them in the cup and really pack them down and let the cup be overflowing. So it's about 1 1/4 cups of fresh or frozen strawberries, and a 1 ounce pack of these little crunchies. It's just 1 ounce of strawberries, and they're freeze dry. They have a very intense flavor, and that's what I'm looking for. So I go ahead and just dump all of this right in the Vitamix along with my strawberries. You add 1/4 cup water and start grinding them real slow and let it get going good. Then you can turn it up to high and just pulverize them. So what you end up with is 1 1/3 cups of strawberry pulp is what I call it. Anyway, some of it, of course, got left in the Vitamix. I don't want to scrape it all out, so just 1 1/3 cups will work. Now the strawberries have no sugar whatsoever on them, so they're definitely going to be sour. So what we're going to start out with then is mixing the sugar and the butter. So this is 1 1/2 cups of softened butter. You want to take that out of your refrigerator earlier and get it softened. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in our mixing bowl. I'm just going to go ahead and mix this up a little bit. Get my little thing on here. There we go. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and mix this butter up just a little bit, and then we're going to start adding the sugar. Just mix it up a little bit. We'll make sure I got all that out of the bowl. Alright, so now it's softened the butter, so it's mixing up pretty well. Now to this we're going to add 3 cups of sugar. That sounds like a lot, but remember the strawberries are pretty sour. So we're just going to gradually add that in, big spoonful at a time. And I've got my mixer on low. So that's 1 1/2 cups of butter, and my butter is salted, so I'm not going to add any more salt. And I'm adding 3 cups of sugar to that. I'm ready to dump the rest of it in. So the oven is preheated to 325 degrees, and we will be baking this for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. We want to heavily grease a tooth pan and then sprinkle it with some flour. Alright, I think that's got it pretty well fluffed up. Now we're going to add 6 eggs to this butter and sugar mixture. And let's see, I'm trying to figure out how to do it without getting it all over everything. Hold on. Now my eggs also are at room temperature, so I'm going to try to dump them one at a time. You want to put the eggs in and make sure the one egg is thoroughly mixed in before you add another one. So yeah, I think we can do it like that. I think now we can turn our mixer up a little bit higher. There. Once that egg completely disappears in the mixture, we'll add the next one. And again, that's 6 large eggs. to stick to the other one, so I'm going to put it in. There we go. Yeah, you want your butter and your eggs at room temperature. Alright, ready to put another one in. Another one. It's getting real fluffy now. Alright, I'll put the final one in. Now I'm going to add my vanilla. I'm using pure vanilla extract. I'm going to add a tablespoon. That's right, 1 tablespoon. Cut it down a little bit. Dribble that in. Some of it's slung out, so I'm going to add just a little bit more. Now we're going to turn it up a little higher. Alright, we're just about through with this part of it now. You want to try to mix it and make sure the sugar is not still in a crystal form, you know, like grainy. So let's just cut it off and try to scrape up the bottom, make sure everything's all mixed in. Just scrape it a little bit. Now I've got my the mixer blade that has the scraper on it for the sides. So I can still hear some graininess in there, but maybe that'll go away in just a minute. Yeah, this calls for 6 eggs. I've made another recipe one time, a pound cake recipe that called for 8 eggs. I didn't want to go that far with this one. All right, let's mix it a little more. Alright, that ought to do it. So now what we're going to do is add 3 cups of flour. Now I sifted the flour and then I measured it, okay? So this is 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And I use white lily. Alright, and we're going to start with flour and we're going to end with flour. But we're going to add this strawberry pulp in between each addition. But we want to start with flour and end with flour. Add a couple of spoonfuls in there. Then we're going to add a little bit of the pulp. About 1/3 of it. Back now with flour. Now I'm going to add more of the pulp. Now a little more of the flour. It's going to be a big, tall cake. So you need to make sure your pan is big enough. You can also make this in a bundt pan, but you need to make sure it's the large one. Flour. Now we're going to add the rest of the pulp in there. Smells very intense strawberry smell. Alright, we're ready for the final addition of flour. Let's see if I can dump that in. Now there is no baking powder added, because what's going to happen is the eggs are really like a leavening for a pound cake, because they're going to expand and it will make a dense cake, but it will rise because of the eggs. Stirring that sides down a little bit. It's a very pretty pink color. And it's real food. It's real strawberries, both dried and I used frozen. All right, let's mix it just a little bit more and we'll be ready to put this in the pan. Alright, you don't want to mix it too much once you've added the flour. So I'm going to clean the little beater off. Yeah, you really need a big mixing bowl for this. You could do it with a hand mixer. It would be a little hard, but you could do it. Now we're ready to dump this into the tube pan. I need to wash my hands off, y'all. Hold on a minute. Alright, we're ready to dump this in the pan now. You want to make sure your pan is well greased, and then put a little dusting of flour on it. Now because I put those strawberries in the Vitamix, you can't see any real seeds or anything in here. It just looks like a pink cake. Now this is going to rise up some, but it's not going to rise up and like overflow the pan or anything. Remember, we don't have any baking powder in it. The thing that's going to make it rise is going to be the 6 eggs that I put in it. Alright, so now what we need to do is just smooth this out. And I like to kind of gully out a place right around the middle. Oh, hey, y'all can't see there. Gully out a place right around the center part of it so it doesn't rise up too much right in the middle. Alright, so now we want to make sure there are no really big air bubbles in there. So I'm just going to take a little knife and kind of go around like that. That way any air bubbles would have come to the surface, and we're just going to maybe go around it one more time. Like that. Alright, we're ready to put it in the oven. Again, the oven has been preheating at 325 degrees. We're going to bake it for 1 hour and 15 minutes, then we're going to check it and make sure it's done. And it's getting late, but we're still making this cake and finishing this video tonight. Alright, we'll see y'all in about an hour and 15 minutes. Alright, we are back. It's been an hour and 25 minutes. I cooked it about 10 minutes longer just to be sure. But really, probably an hour and 15 minutes would have been okay. Anyway, it rose all the way up to the top and then it shrinks back some because it's a pound cake. So we're going to let it maybe sit here in the pan for about maybe 20 minutes and cool just a little bit before we dump it out. Alright, so now we're going to make a glaze to go on it. So I'm going to melt, move y'all closer, there. I'm going to melt 4 tablespoons of butter. There we go. And once these melt enough, I'm going to add some Welch's natural spread. And I'm doing this to give it a real good strawberry taste. So we're probably going to add maybe half a cup into this butter. But we want to let it get good and melted. Sorry, but it needs to just melt. And then we're going to add some honey, about a tablespoon or so. Sorry, that's upside down. And we're adding the honey to prevent the sugar from becoming crystallized again and getting sugary. So anytime you have some type of sugar icing or whatever, and you don't want it to turn sugary, because even confectionery sugar will turn crystallized, what you do is add some other type of sugar, like honey or corn syrup or something like that. Just a different type will prevent it from getting sugary. Alright, so this butter is melted enough, and I'm not going to measure this, but I'm going to put in a couple of huge spoonfuls. Just like that. Turn my burner down a little bit. All I want to do is melt this. Just enough to melt it. And I'm going to go ahead and put my honey in now too. Let's say a good tablespoon, maybe a little more. And again, that's just to prevent it from crystallizing when I add the confectionery sugar. So we're just melting that Welch's strawberry spread. It's got a pretty intense strawberry taste. Use my little whisk in here. Get that butter thoroughly mixed in, and I want this whole thing kind of warm. And we might have to add a little bit of milk, but we'll see. Alright, so to this, I'm going to add a couple of cups of confectionery sugar. We'll see what the consistency is then. It's probably about 2 cups right there. I'm going to take that off the burner and turn that burner off. And just keep mixing this until I get all the lumps out. That looks good enough right there. So I'm going to keep mixing this and make sure there are no lumps in it. In the meanwhile, the cake is still cooling, and remember, it's going to shrink up. A pound cake usually does that. It will rise up, but then it shrinks back, but that's fine. Alright, so we'll be back once I get this glaze all mixed up. Alright, I wanted to come back because I forgot this. We need to just dribble a little bit of vanilla extract into this glaze. Just a little bit, maybe half a teaspoon is all you really need. Now I'm just going to keep mixing this. Alright, we'll be back in just a few minutes. All right, y'all, I went ahead and put the glaze on the cake. Now, I wouldn't have cooked it as long. I just wanted to be sure it wasn't going to fall, and my guess is it probably needs to cook an hour and 20 minutes. I mean, a couple more minutes and I would have burned my cake. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and even though it's really still warm, and I'll show you what it looks like on the inside. All right, we'll be back in just a minute. All right, this is what you call a kerplunk strawberry cake. Yeah, now Mr. Bucky super likes them when they fall like that. But my suggestion now would be to cook it for an hour and maybe 30 minutes or so at about 300 degrees. Yeah, I was afraid that might happen because I added more strawberries than I've ever added before. So anyway, but I think it'll still be really good. And I'm going to post this anyway because even with mistakes, I still post. So we will see y'all next time. Yeah, added maybe a little too many strawberries. Yeah, but I wanted that intense strawberry taste, and it's definitely got that. I tasted a little bit of that inside of it. All right, y'all, we will see y'all next time. Bye for now.